Section 1 of the fourth chapter is an informal discussion among German peer support workers. They were specifically asked to discuss category number 4 of peer support skills. This category, which includes 4 skills, involves personalizing peer support. 1. Understands their own personal values and culture and how these may contribute to biases, judgments, and beliefs. It is clear that peer support workers have had to navigate through environments in the past where their own experiences and perspectives deeply influenced how they interacted with patients and teams. For example, the initial integration of peer support workers into services has sometimes been marked by difficulties, particularly due to biases or judgments stemming from a lack of understanding of the roles of peer support workers. These experiences show that awareness of one's own values and cultural boundaries is crucial to avoid biases and better meet the needs of patients. A central point in the approach of peer support workers is the recognition of their personal recovery journeys and how these can either enrich or limit their ability to provide impartial support. For example, a peer support worker notes that he often had to refocus on his own experiences to avoid projecting his expectations or judgments onto patients. This awareness is a fundamental pillar of their role. 2. Appreciates and respects the cultural and spiritual beliefs and practices of peers and their families. One of the prominent aspects of the discussion is the importance given to the cultural and spiritual diversity of peers and their families. The goal of peer support workers is to adopt a respectful and inclusive approach that values the different practices and beliefs of individuals. For example, in the context of home treatments, it is mentioned that peer support workers often face diverse family environments where values and cultural practices vary greatly. This diversity requires peer support workers to adapt their approach to account for the specifics of each situation. A specific example includes mindfulness sessions or group activities tailored to the spiritual and cultural needs of participants. Peer support workers seek not only to respect these practices, but also to integrate them into the recovery process, thereby strengthening the trust bond with patients. 3. Recognizes and responds to the complexities and uniqueness of each peer's process of recovery. Each recovery journey is unique, and this uniqueness is at the heart of the peer support worker's approach. One of the peer support workers notes that it is impossible to predict a patient's condition or needs before meeting them, as each day brings new situations and unexpected challenges. This recognition of the complexity of recovery translates into flexibility and open-mindedness in how support is provided. A striking example is the personalized approach adopted to work with a young man suffering from anxiety disorders. Activities like playing ping pong or sharing a meal were chosen based on the specific needs and preferences of the patient, illustrating the ability to adapt support methods to unique situations. Furthermore, emphasis is placed on collaborating with patients to develop tools such as crisis plans or mental safes, allowing for proactive management of emotions and difficult situations. 4. Tailors services and support to meet the preferences and unique needs of peers and their families. Adaptability is a key skill of peer support workers, who constantly seek to personalize their interventions. Several examples illustrate how peer support workers respond to individual needs. For instance, during home visits, peer support workers observe the family environment to better understand the dynamics at play and adjust their support accordingly. This includes taking into account the needs of children or relatives present. Other examples include participation in therapeutic groups, where peer support workers integrate their own experiences to enrich discussions and answer patients' questions. Flexibility in activities, such as shifting from a mindfulness session to a more interactive activity depending on the circumstances, is another illustration of this adaptation. Finally, peer support workers recognize the importance of working collaboratively with multidisciplinary teams and leveraging external resources to provide comprehensive and targeted support. In summary, the conversation highlights the importance of a cultural and personal approach for peer support workers, who must not only be aware of their own biases, but also value and respect the cultural and individual differences of patients and their families. Adaptability and recognition of the uniqueness of each recovery journey are essential for providing effective and inspiring support.